Yo, Big C in the house. You know the name. Finn Posse Podcast. Changing the game. Fins up high. Feel the aqua and orange. Miami Heat blazing. We scorching the floor. Movino the tour. We stacking the saga. Legacy deep, call it football nirvana. Big C, break it down, got the stats in his veins. Play-by-play knowledge like he's calling the chains. Fins flying on the field, opponents feel the blast. Tyreek cheetah speed, leaving DBs in the past. Waddle with the wiggle, defense with the clamp. Aqua drip so clean, whole squad's the champ. Tune in, Big C, got the mic on lock. Finn Posse Podcast, it's the cream of the crop. Breaking news, hot takes, repping the block. For the Dolphin faithful, it's the one-stop shop. Finn Posse. We the voice of the fans. Miami stand tall, got the world in our hands. Best podcast, yo, ain't no debate. Big C, big vibes, setting it straight. Defense smash, call it aqua tsunami. X locking routes like a South Beach Armani. O-line holding strong, trenches like a fortress. Big C dissected, no stack goes dormant.
Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test. Expect nothing less, your check as I'm chess. What's happening next? He got the venom, a tangible weapon. No coming in second, this life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pin to
What up, Finn fans? Welcome to another episode of the Finn Posse Podcast. I am your host, Big C, and this is brought to you by Game Changers Media. How's everybody doing this beautiful Tuesday? Is today Tuesday? What's today? Wednesday, Tuesday? I be getting lost. Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Got to get that date under wraps. Valentine's Day is rapidly approaching. I got a wife, I gotta pay attention to those dates a little bit more so I don't get, I don't want to be sleeping on the couch. But yeah, Super Bowl finally over. Now it's time to look forward to the 2026 season for the Miami Dolphins. And the first step in doing that is seeing what important dates are coming up a long way away from next season. But in the meantime, you got things to look forward to. We got the combine, we got the draft, we got breaking down college players, prospects that the Miami Dolphins may be interested in. This is actually a pretty exciting time because every other year we've been going into the offseason with Chris Greer and the way that he's gone about doing things. Now we got, Sully up there as the general manager making decisions. We don't know how aggressive he's going to be, what he's going to like to do. Obviously, he comes from the Green Bay Packers, so you can get an idea, but he was never the main guy in Green Bay. So who knows? His opinions may be very different than the main general manager in Green Bay. Given the opportunity to be the head guy, he finally gets to do the things that he likes to do. And he might not have agreed with everything that Green Bay's general manager had done. So let's take a look at key dates coming up. This is very important as far as contracts and stuff are concerned. Let you know when people are due money, when we the new year starts, when we got to have our roster down, when the combine is, when free agency starts, all those things. So let's see. Boom. Share. Add the screen. Boom. Okay. So the Super Bowl is February 8th, of course. February 17th, beginning this date through 4 p.m. on March 3rd, clubs may designate franchise transition players. So that's when free agents are, you can start franchising players. February 23rd to March 2nd is the NFL scouting combine. Gonna be definitely interested in that. Obviously, we're gonna take a look at positions of need, and I'm gonna be zoning in on the top prospects at the combine, seeing what these guys are looking like, seeing what guys that I would like to have the Miami Dolphins draft, and hopefully we get an idea in the weeks to come the kind of guys that Coach Half wants, the kind of guys that Sully wants. March 9th through the 11th, unrestricted free agents who is not represented by an NFLPA certified contract advisor is permitted to communicate directly with a new club's front office. So these guys can start, unrestricted free agents who aren't represented by NFLPA, they can start negotiating with teams. Let's see. March 11th, that's a big date. The 2000 league year and free agency signing period begin at 4 p.m. Eastern. Trading period for the 2026 begins at 4 p.m. after expirations of all 2025 contracts. That's when free agency starts. That's when you got to be under the salary cap. You got to be under the salary cap. The first day of the 2026 league year will end at 11:59 p.m. on March 12th. Clubs will receive a personal notice that will include all transactions submitted to the league office during the period between 4 p.m. Eastern and 11:59 Eastern on March 11th. March 29th through April 1st is league meetings. April 6th, clubs that have hired new head coaches after the end of the 2025 NFL season, that's us, can begin workout programs. To April 15th, deadline for clubs to time, test, visit, interview, or conduct a personal examination with draft eligible players at its club facilities. That's when you can have the draft prospects, people that you're interested in, come in and you can work them out yourselves. April 17th, deadline for restricted free agents to sign offer sheets. April 20th, clubs will return head coaches, may begin off-season workout programs. And blah, blah. Jeez. Blah, blah. NFL draft, April 23rd to the 25th. May 1st, deadline for clubs to exercise fifth-year options for players selected in the first round of the 2023 draft. And then down here in July is when teams can start coming back and we can get back to football. So April 11th is the next key date. That's when we have to make a decision about Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill. You got to be under the salary cap. Right now, we're sitting anywhere, depending on what site you want to believe, anywhere from $16 to $23 million over. There's expected cap rise of 22 to 26 million, taking the salary cap to 301 to 305 million dollars. So yeah, so the first things first, the Miami Dolphins must make a decision on Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill. We need to get under the salary cap that we're sitting about 16 million over. We're going to share that to the screen too. Share. The screen. Okay. So right here we're sitting about 16 million over. 16 million over, $16.5 million over for 2026. You get two post June 1st releases. Two post June 1st. The Miami Dolphins are still trying to trade Tua Tagovailoa. That would probably be the best bet for the Miami Dolphins. I don't know how much money they would have to pay of his contract. That's an iffy situation. I doubt that they're going to be able to find someone to trade for Tua. So the first move that is guaranteed is Tyreek Hill is going to be a post June 1st release. Submit. That move right there takes us to 18 million under the salary cap. 18 million under. Let's see what it looks like if we make Tua a post. All right, I don't know what I clicked. Damn it. Sorry, I'm not very computer functioning. What the hell? Okay, we're going to have to go back. Boom. Jesus. Sorry about this. This is calculator. Okay. Tyreek post June 1st. Submit. Tua cut post June 1st. Submit. That hits us with a $67 million cap hit this year. We'd be $7 million under. So you're going to have to make some more moves, some more cuts. Bradley Chubb's going to be a cut. Who else are we going to cut for sure? Alec Ingold. Most teams don't run with a fullback. I think we're probably going to get rid of Alec Ingold, although he's a fan favorite. Jason Sanders, he's out the door. He'll be another cut. Nick Westbrook-Akine, he's gone. He was absolutely did nothing for us last year. Absolutely nothing. Trying to see who else. Let's see where we're standing with just those moves. That takes us to 23 under. Obviously, you can redo the contracts of Jordan Brooks, which he should be up for. We should be re-signing him, giving him a new contract. Also, a new contract. We got Jordan Brooks. And Aaron Brewer should be getting a new contract. Those two moves should give you another $12 to $15 million in cap space. Austin Jackson could also be a possible cut candidate. You wouldn't want to do it before June 1st. But yeah, the Miami Dolphins, if they can finagle some things, they could have $40, $50 million in cap space. You hear Omar Kelly all the time say the salary cap's not real. The salary cap's not real. And really, teams are able to do different things to finagle the salary cap. They can make room and they can sign players if they want to. They can move money around. They can turn things into signing bonuses. They can do all types of things. I don't know what's going on. I don't. Are people seeing this on their normal feed? I know we only got 3 people in the building, but usually, are people seeing this on their normal feed? If you can message in the comments, can you see this on the normal feed? Is it popping up like it normally does? But yeah, I mean, we're gonna have some salary cap space. Now, what does Coach Half and Sully want to do? They've made it clear that they want to be able to resign their own guys. I don't think there's going to be any big name free agent signings this year. Don't look for the us to go out and make a big signing. Thank you, William. Thank you. Don't look for us to go out there and make the big signing, right? So first step is getting under the salary cap, figuring out what we're doing with Tua, obviously releasing Tyreek, getting under the salary cap. That's the first steps. That's the first steps. And then when you get to wherever your salary cap's going to be, the next step, the next step is figuring out which of your free agents you want to bring back. And I think the Dolphins got over 30 free agents this year. The Miami Dolphins got over 30 free agents this year. Now, this is a tricky situation, and this is going to be, you can't tell what this regime's going to do because this is not, none of these players are the new regime's players. So they could cut bait with every single one of them, and you could understand because they didn't bring these players here. Do these players fit their scheme? I made it known that, the Miami Dolphins are going to run a different defensive scheme than they have in the last 2-3 years. They're going to, even longer than that. Even longer than that. The Miami Dolphins are switching over to a 4-3 scheme. They've ran a 3-4 for the longest. Obviously, they're going to still run some concepts with 3-4. Most teams run hybrid defenses nowadays. But for the most part, they're going to be a 4-3 defense. You've heard Coach Half and Sully say they want to get big and strong in the trenches. Our offensive line is more of a finesse offensive line, an offensive line that's capable of getting to the second level. They're not known for their size and their power. They're more known for their agility and, like I said, getting out in space, getting down the field to make blocks. So the first step for the Miami Dolphins new regime is getting the players in the building that fit their scheme, fit the type of player that they want to bring into the Miami Dolphins. They want to build this team in their image. And a lot of these guys may not fit that script. So let's take a look at the Miami Dolphin players that are free agents this year. These are all Miami Dolphins free agents. And whether the Miami Dolphins should re-sign them or whether the Miami Dolphins will move on. Okay. First name on the list is Zach Wilson. This will also show their market value, which, you can't necessarily go by that. Zach Wilson, am I bringing him back? Absolutely not. They had signed him for some crazy reason for $6 million last year. It says his market value is only 1.6. I'm not bringing Zach Wilson back. I would rather draft a quarterback in the later rounds and go with that. I'd go with Quinn Ewers, draft a quarterback in the later rounds, and maybe add a veteran. But I'm not bringing back Zach Wilson. I think he brings little to nothing to the table. He can't help Quinn Ewers grow. He's not the vet that I want in the building. If I get a vet in the building, it may be like a Joe Flacco. Now, Joe Flacco, would he want to come to the Miami Dolphins? I doubt it because he feels like he can go somewhere else and get an opportunity to play meaningful games. And I don't think the Miami Dolphins are looking for him to come in and be the starter. You'd want him to come in and help develop your young guys. So anyway, but with Zach Wilson, that's a no for me. Kader Kohu. Kader Kohu went down with an injury last year. He missed most of the season, all the season. Would I bring Kader Kohu back? Listen, I'm probably going to pass on Kader Kohu. Yeah, he's still young. He'd probably be not that expensive, but this is his second major injury. You know, I'm ready to move on from Kader Kohu at this point. You weren't great before the injury, and now your second major injury to those legs. I'm probably moving on for Kader. Feti Malafanu, a safety we had gotten from the Lions. His market value is 3.6. He didn't have a great year last year. I'm probably moving on from him too. Ashton Davis, another safety that we got from the Jets. I'm probably moving on from him. We'll figure it out. I'd rather get someone else in free agency, maybe someone that Coach Half feels more comfortable with. But these guys weren't brought in by Coach Half, and I think they're easy to move on from. Neither one of those guys did anything of relevance, in my opinion. Larry Borom. I was so against bringing him here to the Miami Dolphins. I was so mad when we went and got him from the Chicago Bears. But I'm probably bringing Larry Borom back. Larry Borom played good football for us last year. And I think he deserves to be brought back. Now, would I rely on him as a starter? No. But Larry Borom showed that he can step into the starting lineup and play decent football when needed. So I'm bringing Larry Borom back. Liam Eichenberg, absolutely not. I've heard that Liam Eichenberg may never play another snap in the NFL again. I heard that last time when people seen him, he looked like a retired guard. He had lost all his mass. He was a skinny little thing. I think Liam Eichenberg his career's probably over. Jake Bailey. I was excited when we brought in Stonehouse last year. Bailey ended up beating him out in camp. Bailey had a pretty good year last year. I guess I wouldn't be against bringing Bailey back, but I mean, it's not, if we cut him, we cut him. You know what I mean? I don't care one way or the other, really. Bailey had a decent year last year, but I'm not mad if we release him. I'm not mad if we bring him back. Darren Waller, $3.2 million. Listen, if Darren Waller can stay healthy, Darren Waller's a weapon. But can he stay healthy? I don't know. He's not part of the future, obviously. He's older in age, almost 34 years old. He's not part of the future. Would he help a young quarterback develop? Sure. But I think you probably move on from Darren Waller at this point. Again, I'm against bringing in players that are going to help us win 6-7 games. At this point, I just want to. I feel like this is strictly be a tank year. Well, yeah, we're gonna cut Tyreek before June or March 12th. And William, I didn't see what you had said. Who got to be? William says Dulcich, Jack Jones, and Rasul Douglas would be my main looks. Yeah, I mean, we're going to get there, but yeah, you're right. Tyreek has to be a post June 1st cut. Yes. Morning, Michael Edward. Tyreek's cut would allow Miami to be under the cap as required by the NFL on March 12th. You're right, Edward. Absolutely. You guys had me nervous. I didn't see anybody in the chat. I had put something different when I was making the video, and I didn't know if I had messed up. So Darren Waller, I'm moving on from. Again, this is a rebuild year. This is year one of a rebuild. I don't need guys in here that are going to help us win 6-7 games. He's not part of the future. There's no need to bring him back. Benito Jones, I'm moving on from. Elijah Campbell, you can bring him back as a special teams guy. Rasul Douglas, his market value is $4 million. Listen, Rasul Douglas probably getting more than that, in my opinion. He was ranked as a top 10 corner in the NFL last year. I'm sure at this point in Rasul Douglas's career, he's going to be 32 years old. He wants to play for a contender. I can't blame him. I would love to have Rasul Douglas back, but I think Rasul Douglas will probably move on. Rasul Douglas probably going to go look to play for a contender. He's going to have a lot of interest around the league the way he played last year. He was absolutely phenomenal for us. Again, I would love to have Rasul Douglas back. We have a need at corner, obviously. I already said a no-go on Kader Kohu. I would love to have Rasul Douglas back. Kendall Lamb, I'm not bringing him back. Joe Cordona, nope. Artie Burns, nope, not a chance. Willie Gay Jr. Willie Gay, I'd be interested in bringing back. He's an exciting player. I think he's a pretty decent player. He's cheap, experienced. He's only 28 years old. I'd bring him back. Alexander Madison, it's a no for me. KJ Britt. I mean, you could bring him back as depth at the linebacker position. He's cheap. Still only 27 years old. He's good against the run. I'd probably bring him back. Estridge, no, I'm not bringing him back unless it's strictly for special teams. Afidi, I'm not bringing back. Brunskill, no, not bringing back. Riley Patterson. Riley Patterson had a great year for us last year, but this day and age when kickers are kicking 70-yard field goals, I would love for us to go find one of those guys. I'd love to find one of those young guys that can kick the ball 70 yards, 65 yards. That gives teams such an advantage. When you cross midfield, you're already in field goal range. They give teams such an advantage. I'd love to try to go find one of those guys. If you can't find one of those big leg kickers, I'm okay with bringing Riley Patterson back. Riley Patterson played good football for us. I was pleasantly surprised him taking over for Jason Sanders. So I say, yeah, bring him back unless we can find one of those big leg kickers. Cedric Wilson, it's a no. Caleb Johnson, no. Jack Jones, yes, I'd bring him back. I don't know if I'd pay him $5 million a year, but he was pretty decent. He's still 28 years old. Yeah, I'd bring Jack Jones back. AJ Green, it's a no for me. Greg Dulcich, yeah, absolutely. I thought Greg Dulcich was absolutely phenomenal for us last year. Pleasant surprise. I would 100% bring Greg Dulcich back. He's only 25 years old. He'll be 26. He can be one of our tight ends of the future. I don't know if he's a number one tight end, but he's a damn good number two tight end. He impressed me with his receiving skills. He had pretty sure hands. I like Greg Dulcich. Quentin Bell's starting to get up there in age. I mean, if you want to bring him back, special teamer, cool. Cole Strange, he didn't play horrible for us last year, but I'm moving on from Cole Strange. Ethan Bonner, he might be he's a ERFA. Julian Hill, I'm moving on from Julian Hill. Cameron Good, all those guys, you know, aren't guys I'm overly concerned with. I think the Miami Dolphins and Coach F and Sully will probably move on from Julian Hill. That was a Mike McDaniel guy, Cameron Good, Mike McDaniel guy. But yeah, those are the guys that we're going to bring back, probably, in my opinion. The guys that I would at least bring back. And then after that, we have to focus on free agency and then the draft. Again, we're not gonna go out there and make the big name signing this year. So it's not going to be super exciting. We're not going to have a lot of cap room. It's just basically filling out the roster. Maybe bring some guys in that Coach Half is comfortable with. But don't expect any huge moves this offseason. What's up, Marcos? Don't expect any huge moves this offseason. It's not this offseason is not going to be super exciting. It's just not. This is about getting our salary cap right. This is about filling out our roster, bringing in some guys that are comfortable, that Coach Half is comfortable with, that maybe know how to run the scheme that he's trying to. He might try to bring in some guys that strictly can help teach the other guys what to do, show them how to run the scheme. They might be some older Green Bay Packers players. They might be some backup Green Bay Packer players. And I'm all right with that. I'm all right with him bringing in some of those guys to help teach the system, at least on the defensive side of the ball. I swear my voice be just going. But what do you think? What do you think the Miami Dolphins should do? Who do you think they should keep? Is there any one or two players that you feel like is mandatory that we keep that's unrestricted free agent? Would you guys bring Darren Waller back? Or if you had a choice between Waller and Dulcich, which one are you bringing back? Drew Alar is the answer at quarterback for y'all. I mean, I don't know if he's the answer, but he's definitely someone I would take a look at. If he's available in the third round and we have three third round picks, I would absolutely pull the trigger on him. You gotta, sometimes you gotta try a couple things before you find one that works. You gotta take your swings, and some of them are going to be misses. I don't think he's going to go. I don't think it's going to move that high, Marcos. I don't think it's going to move that high. I'm not all right with taking Drew Alar in the first round. Absolutely not. You can be a workout warrior, underwear workout warrior, but his gameplay is his gameplay, right? What's up, Anthony? Again, I would listen. If you plan on the Miami Dolphins winning a bunch of games this year, you probably shouldn't watch too much football coming up. I truly believe that if these guys are smart, and I hope that they sound super intelligent when they speak. When they during their press conferences, Coach Half and Sully sound extra impressive. They sound like they know what the hell they're talking about. But actions speak louder than words. And if they go out and sign Malik Willis, and I think signing Malik Willis will be a massive mistake by this franchise. You don't think so? He's better than Mendoza, in my opinion. Wow. That's crazy, Marcos. I mean, I'd have to watch some more tape on him. Big C, being that we've complained that our safety and corner group was bad last year, would you be pissed if they draft the whole defensive backfield in the first 3 rounds? Anthony, if that's the best players available, then I'm all right with it. Obviously, we need our secondary all redone. We need multiple starting corners. We need a starting safety. So if those are the best players available when we come up to pick, I'm cool. I'm cool with it. Absolutely. It doesn't matter what order you get the guys as long as you get the best guys in the door. I'd rather take 2 corners and a safety in the first 3 rounds that they were the best player available than reaching for a player because I feel like I got to fill the position. I'd rather not have to reach. What up, Chef? How you doing, brother? How you doing? Big C, do you think we move on from Minka? I would. I would personally. What's Minka's not gonna, they've already said Mika's fallen off. I thought he had a decent year last year, but we're not going to be in any position to compete this year. So we're talking about how good is Mika going to be in 2 years from now. So if you can get a third round, second round pick for Minka, I would absolutely jump all over that. Now I don't know what his trade value is, but yeah, I'd be willing to move on from Minka. He's not part of the future. Minka's not part of the future. I started last week. I started last week. My background is under construction. My room's under construction. Big C, I did a draft where I traded to 25 in the draft. I mean, and that's something that I don't know what this regime's going to do. Nobody knows what Sully's going to do in this draft. No one knows if he's going to be aggressive and try to trade up. Nobody knows. We've never experienced a draft with Coach Sully or with Sully in charge of it. A Tyreek Hill post June 1st cut will not reduce Miami's cap number to be compliant by March 12th. So, my opinion, it will be a pre June 1st. Tyreek is definitely 100% a post June 1st cut. And all that means, post June 1st cut, all that means is you designated him as a post June 1st release, but the money's available now. Again, Anthony, I got so much work to do when it comes to the draft that I can't tell you how good of a mock draft that was. I got a lot of work to do as far as watching videos, watching gameplay uh, of college prospects because I'm not a big college football guy. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a big college football guy. So I strictly do my investigating, my watching of tapes at the end of the season, and that's when I can give you a better answer. Big C and everyone, should we give Shiloh Sanders a chance to try out? I was thinking that this morning. I mean, I'm willing to give anybody a shot. I'm willing to give anybody a shot. Listen, I'm willing to give anybody a shot. I don't think Shiloh's overly talented though, but give him a shot. Give him a shot. I'm cool with it. Try him out. Why not? Shuab, try out Shador. Anything that can help this team win, I'm for. Anything that can help this team win, I'm for it. I'm not against any type. Obviously, you want good locker room guys. You want guys that care about football, not just about a paycheck. We don't want any more Jalen Ramsey types here. Even Tyreek Hill, and I'm the biggest Tyreek Hill fan, strictly for what he can do on the field. How explosive Tyreek is, how exciting Tyreek is to watch. I'm a huge Tyreek fan. But again, I can't support how he acts off the field. I can't support that. And I'd rather not have players on my team be that type of player. Be that type of person, I should say. Because that type of person's always going to create drama. They're always going to create issues. They're always going to be at risk to get in trouble. They're always going to be at risk to letting you down. And probably when you need them the most. Did not watch the Super Bowl, and did you like it? And what were your opinions on the halftime show? People probably aren't going to like my opinions on the halftime show, to be honest. The Super Bowl was fine. It was a defensive battle. Most people, the casual NFL fans, didn't like the Super Bowl. There wasn't enough scoring. It wasn't exciting for them. But I thought it was a chess match. I thought Seattle looked like the better team. I thought Drake May looked overwhelmed. Seattle's defense is better than what I thought it was. I thought New England's defense played a good enough game to win. I thought New England's defense played a good enough game to win. They almost had a opportunity to have a couple pick sixes, and how different the game could have turned out if they would have just been able to get their hands on the ball. They were ultra aggressive at the beginning. Christian Gonzalez is a beast. He had a great game. This game could have got out of hand a lot faster if it wasn't for Christian Gonzalez. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good game, but I never felt like Seattle was in danger of losing. As for the halftime show, I have no problem with a Spanish speaking person, Latina person, black person, Irish person, English person. I don't care who performs the NFL halftime show for the Super Bowl. But what I do care about is that I can't understand what you're saying. And I don't think that's right. This is America. This is the United States of America. This is a United States of America sport. I was watching on a United States of America channel. I shouldn't have to guess what you're saying. I should not have to conform to your language. And that's my opinion. I don't want to see two guys dancing on each other, grinding. I don't want to see that. Now, I'm not against gay people whatsoever. I'm not whatsoever. But I don't think it needs to necessarily be rubbed in people's faces. I think they did certain things on purpose, and I wasn't a fan of it. I thought the show was phenomenal as far as besides the guys dancing on guys. I thought the layout was awesome. I thought him coming through the fields and all the little different pop-up things with the Latin heritage was awesome. I thought that the presentation was awesome, but I thought the music was trash. He is American, but he's from Puerto Rico. And I'm not saying he wasn't an American citizen, but what language do we speak in America? What is the primary language? when the whole stadium isn't making a move, isn't celebrating, isn't having fun, when 99% of the players that are playing in the game have no idea who Bad Bunny is, have no idea of any of his songs, that tells you something. It's nothing about being, he don't have to be an American citizen. I'm cool with it. You can perform over here. You two performed here. I don't think they're American citizens, but I can understand what they're saying. I think if Bad Bunny would have performed in English, there wouldn't have been the backlash. I don't think anybody would have had a problem with Bad Bunny. But the fact that he performed in a language that, people can't understand, they shouldn't have to not be able to understand it. I don't care if the NFL's trying to expand to Latin America. I don't care. That doesn't mean that we have to conform to Latin America. You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about here? And I know that some people may not like that, and that's all right. That's all right. That's my opinion. It's my opinion. This is the United States. We speak English is the primary language. And I understand there's a lot of people that are American citizens that, maybe their primary language is uh, Spanish. I get that. But the primary language, the language that is taught in schools as the primary language is English. And I shouldn't have to turn the TV on and not understand what's being said at American sport. I don't expect if I watch a soccer game in Mexico for them to speak English just for me. I don't expect a Mexican halftime show to speak English or sing in English for me. No, I don't expect that. If it was a Spanish sport or a Mexican sport or a African sport, or I wouldn't expect them to change it just for me. But that's my thought. That's my thought. But yeah, by March 11th, the Miami Dolphins need to get under the salary cap. Then the Miami Dolphins need to decide who they're going to re-sign as far as their own free agents. And then you gotta do the combine, and then you do free agency, and then the NFL draft. And then the NFL draft. Don't expect the Miami Dolphins to make a big splash in free agency, though. Now, I think they will sign some people. They're going to have to. They're going to have to. But this isn't the year where the Miami Dolphins are going to try to go out and hit the home run. That's next year. That's next year. Hopefully. Hopefully. But right now, the biggest question marks, and none of us can answer them because we don't know what's going to happen, is Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa. What is going to happen with Tua? Are we going to find a trade partner? Are we going to take the full cap hit this year? Are we going to make him a post-June 1st release? But are we going to keep him on the team? It all comes down to Tua Tagovailoa. That's the next question that needs to be answered. And to be honest, it's hard to talk about anything else or guess anything else until that happens. Chef says, I told people that the Seahawks were going to win before the playoffs started, but got laughed in my face. Hey, listen, I didn't think Seattle was necessarily going to go to the Super Bowl. I like the Rams. I thought the Rams were the best team in the NFL. Seattle kind of had the Rams number this year. I'm not mad that Seattle won the Super Bowl. Seattle could be dangerous for years to come. One positive aspect of the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl, though, is They did it with a first-time head coach with a defensive background. And that's exactly what the Miami Dolphins have. Now, is Coach Hafley as good as Coach McDonald? That's yet to be seen. That's yet to be seen. But that has to make you feel good. That has to make you feel good about where we're sitting right now. And hopefully we can follow their game plan, their path, and we can be one of the better teams in the NFL in 2027. But 26 is a rebuild. It's a rebuild. It's the start of a rebuild. It's getting our salary cap right. It's getting us camp compliant. It's about getting us right as a whole. There's a lot of things that need to be fixed. Chris Greer, with all those trades, all those contract extensions, left us in a massive hole. And now it needs to be fixed. And you can't get to a point where you can compete until you fix the problems. I mean, there's a reason that these guys got fired, right? You got to fix. You got to fix the issues. And then you can start to rebuild. And then hopefully we can have a quick turnaround. It's possible. I think it's very possible to be able to do what Seattle did. But you can't make any mistakes along the way. You can't. I think going to get Malik Willis is a massive mistake. Malik Willis doesn't make you a playoff team. Malik Willis probably gets you more wins than Quinn Ewers will. But he doesn't make you a competitor. All he does is take you out of position to get one of the top quarterbacks in the draft next year. And that sets you back. Cost you salary cap room that we don't need to spend on him. Where we can go get a quarterback in the first round next year and have 5 years of that quarterback at a pretty cheap salary. How much is Malik Willis even going to cost? I'm hearing $20 million a year, 30 million a year. And what resume does he have? 3 to 6 games in his career? Does he doesn't even have 10 touchdown passes in his career, and we want to go give this guy the bag? It's not me. Not in my opinion. Not in my opinion. I think that would be a massive mistake. Kirk Cousins, we're talking about Kirk Cousins. Now Derek Carr wants to come out of retirement. Absolutely not. I don't want anything to do with any of these guys. Anything to do with any of these guys. They're not putting us over the top. They're not even making us relevant. So what is the purpose of bringing them in? I could understand if we were a fringe playoff team, but I don't think we are at this point. We're a long way away from being a playoff team. With the change of scheme, with having to learn a new offense, a new defense, with the massive amount of free agents that we have, we got a long way to go. But I think if they focus on this year's draft and they can hit some home runs in this year's draft, if last year's draft can continue to grow, to mature, because I felt like the second half of the year, I felt like our rookies from last year did get a lot better. I feel like they did get a lot better. They improved greatly over the second half of the year. So you take those draft picks, You take the year before's draft picks. Hopefully, Chop Robinson can figure it out. In this year's draft picks, you take all those guys together. That should be a pretty good nucleus. And then 2027, you go get your quarterback. You fill out the rest of the roster with the 2027 draft. And then you should have $150, $160 million in salary cap to help plug holes or bring in playmakers. And if you do those things, 2027 can be a very good year for us. Maybe we go on a run again, have a Seattle-like run. Or at the very least, 2028, be ready to go and compete for division titles and playoff wins, and But I'm interested to see Coach Half and Sully get to work. Like I said, they sound great. They sound like they know what they're talking about. Now it's time to see them work. Now it's time to see them put in the work and see if they can live up to the hype. That's what we need to see. It's time to knuck up and shut up and and do what you got to do to turn this team around. But I love you guys. I appreciate you. Again, March 11th, we got to be under the salary cap. Right now, we're sitting 16. You look at some sites, they say from 16 to 23. I don't think they're taking into the account the salary cap rise, which salary cap should move up from 22 to 26 million dollars this year, all the way up to 301 to 305 million. They're talking about salary cap by 2028 could be more than $400 million. More than $400 million. But again, don't be nervous because we're 16 million over right now. Like I said, making Tyreek a post June 1st release gets us right under that cap. And then, you release Tua as a post June 1st, or Chubb as a post June 1st. We can make cap room, but I don't think that Coach Half and Sully are eager to go spend a bunch of free agency money on players. I think they'll dibble and dabble to help fill out the roster, but don't look for any big name signings. Don't look for no George Pickens or you know what I mean? No signings like that. But I love you. I appreciate you guys. I'll be back tomorrow. And fins up. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and fins up. Peace.
Yo, Big C in the house. You know the name. Fin Posse Podcast. Changing the game. Fins up high. Feel the aqua and orange. Miami Heat blazing, we scorching the floor. Marino the tour, we stacking the saga. Legacy deep, call it football nirvana. Big C, break it down, got the stats in his veins. Play-by-play knowledge like he's calling the chains. Fins flying on the field, opponents feel the blast. Tyreek cheetah speed, leaving DBs in the past. Waddle with the wiggle, defense with the clamp. Aqua drip so clean, whole squash the champ. Tune in, Big C, got the mic on lock. Fin Posse Podcast, it's the cream of the crop. Breaking news, hot takes, repping the block. For the Dolphin faithful, it's the one-stop shop. Fin Posse, we the voice of the fans. Miami stand tall, got the world in our hands. Best podcast, yo, ain't no debate. Big C, big vibes, setting it straight. Defense smash, call it Aqua Tsunami. X locking routes like a South Beach Armani. O-line holding strong, trenches like a fortress. Big C dissected, no stack goes dormant.